I was in my 30s and I felt dead inside.
Wait, what is this? Is it a sex cult?
This is like basic biology that is hidden from us.
Welcome to the Sensual Sisterhood Podcast, where we talk about desire, pleasure, power, and embodiment.
This is a place where pleasure is your birthright and a way back to you. I'm Barbara Katsnelson.
And I'm Marta Kagan, and we are so happy you're here with us. So let's start at the beginning, Barb, since this is like our first official episode.
First official episode. This is our first official. Well, it's the first official episode of the rebrand, I guess.
Yeah. It's like you can't really call it our like cherry popping episode because we've actually done episodes before, but under the new version of the brand or update of the brand or whatever, I think it will be really meaningful for our audience to hear a little bit of the backstory of how we got here, why we created this free community for women to reconnect with their sensuality and their bodies and their pleasure, and what it's all about and who it's for. So I would love for you to kick us off by telling us a little bit of what your experience was, because most women that stumble upon our work have gotten here because they themselves are searching for like, how do I get back to me? How do I get back to feeling alive and vibrant and sexy and wanted and all those things? What was like the tipping point or the trigger for you?
I mean, I was in my 30s and I felt dead inside. I was in a relationship with a man who I loved, who I was attracted to, and the sex died, and I had no idea why. And I was like, something's wrong here. I have everything I want in my life, everything I've worked hard to get, really doing great in my career. And then it was like, something's really deeply missing. I feel really disconnected, and I didn't know what it was. And I knew it had to do with sex. And I went through a series of going to doctors, doing all the things, and nothing actually was working. And then a friend of mine told me about Mama Gina, and she was like, you got to go see her. Pleasure. Everything is pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. And I went down this path of pleasure, and it was revolutionary because literally up until that time, I didn't know what I didn't know. I mean, I thought if he came, I did a good job. I had no idea about my pleasure. I had no idea that I had 10,000 nerve endings in my clitoris, all for the sole purpose of pleasure, or how to connect to them. When I first heard that, I was like, my mind is blown. And why doesn't everyone fucking know this? Everyone needs to know this. Like, why is this shit top secret? I don't understand. This is like basic biology that is hidden from us. So I felt really called to go deeper, did all of these trainings, Layla Martin, Regina, Mama Gina, all of the things, got certified in tons of modalities. And I was like, I'm going to bring this to every woman I possibly can, because it really is a restoration of my power. There is an intelligence in the body that your mind will never grasp, and your mind does not want you to connect to. And I realized that, and that intelligence not only restores the power, it's, you fucking have a great life.
Yeah.
And you feel good, and I feel more beautiful, more sexual, sexier, have more pleasure. Everything's better in my life just from learning tools and practicing them and being in sisterhood, being in community.
Yeah. It's funny as you were sharing your story and you hit on the fact that there's no real education on this. It's funny. It just made me think of how the other day I did a random YouTube search, and this is related to our topic, I promise. I did a random YouTube search looking to see what content was out there on the female orgasm, preparing for the episode that we recorded recently. And I was shocked that the majority of what came back, certainly the first few pages of top results, were all medical doctors talking about anorgasmia, right? So pathologizing a woman's inability to orgasm. none of that was, so it was all talking about, what's wrong with you, what's broken, what doesn't work. And there was nothing to educate you on, well, how is it supposed to work? And what is it really like? And what are it was just such a fucked up dead end. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah.
that just so speaks to that. Anyway, side note that we'll probably need to edit out, but it was like striking, and then you get into the like random people talking about stuff like the sexperts who actually offer a lot more, even if they don't have the MD behind them, but also, anyway, sorry, digression. Back to you.
Long story short, there's a lot more to the story, but basically that's it. Like I felt dead. I went down the pleasure path. Anxiety issues, depression issues, all of these issues really had to do with this disconnection from my body.
Yeah.
I was on anti-anxiety, like it's just there's so much. My whole, mindset work and therapy only got me so far,
Yeah.
and they were basically like the gateways, but it was getting back to my body, getting into union with my body really, and allowing my sensuality and sexuality to come online, clearing trauma from childhood, really taking my pleasure into my hands
Yeah.
and really taking a stand and being like, wait a second, this is fucked up and I'm not going to be okay with it anymore. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to see pleasure as like a reward after working really hard. It is my birthright that I experience pleasure in everything that I do, even if it's something that I don't want to be doing. I now know through all of the tools, all of the trainings, everything I've done, how to bring pleasure to everything that I'm doing in my life, whether I want to be doing, whether I don't want to be doing it, it doesn't really matter. Fear, grief, anger, it doesn't matter. There is an alchemy there and so much growth and so much power. I can't put it into words. You have to experience it. And that's part of the reason why we created the Sensual Sisterhood and we created this podcast to convey what is available for you when you take your pleasure into your own hands, when you make that commitment, when you are willing to really be like, this is it. Like, I am going to learn about this and I am going to give myself this ability to feel these things and have this life. I am worth it. I deserve it. I was born with everything that I need to hold it. So, game on.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, your story and your experience, I should say, really is similar to mine in that I also kind of hit a wall in my relationship. And I think it wasn't just the relationship, it was age. It was right around my 50th birthday that I remember going out to lunch with some friends, and everyone's just talking about, how they don't sleep well and vaginal dryness and like all this stuff about perimenopause, right? Like how
Right.
their relationships are boring and how annoying their partners are. And I love these women, like no shade at all. I was part of that conversation, but I just gave me this feeling of desperation somehow of this like, wait, this is like a taste of what the next chapter of my life is going to be. No, I don't want this. I preferred when we talked about the fun stuff. And then like later that day, one of them texted a picture of us from back in our 20s, and I literally burst into tears. Like that was my moment of like, where did I go? How did I go from that version of me to this version of me who on paper looks like she's so much more put together and so much more accomplished and, happy and has all the things. But that version of me, like you could see it in her eyes. There was a spark, there was a fire, there was this spiciness. And then that was timed very closely to me learning about Mama Gina's book, Pussy. So Mama Gina seems to have been our entryway
Well,
for both of us.
yeah.
That's
It's how we met. Just so for everyone who was listening, literally, that's how Marta and I met in Mama Gina's mastermind. And that's why it's kind of so relevant in the thread here is that following that path is also what led us to become friends and sisters and like-minded and like we want to do the same thing. We want to get the same message out there. Women need to know this. So it was in that space that we really birthed this experience,
Yeah.
this whole mission.
Yeah. And before we get to the mission and the space and so forth, I just want to also add that I remember once I got to know a little bit about Mama Gina and started investigating and stumbled upon this mastermind opportunity, which was so outside of my comfort zone, outside of my budget, outside of anything I had planned, to be spending my time and money on a month down the road. I thought I was crazy. My close friends thought I was crazy. They were like,
Yeah.
"You're doing what? You're spending how much and how long
Right.
on wait, what is this? Is it a sex cult?" Like, there was just a lot of
Right. Right.
questions. And to be honest, there were times where I was like, "Yeah, what am I doing? Like, what is the point of this? This is not on my path. I did not see this on my path." And I say that to encourage and give permission to and normalize to any woman listening right now. If you feel that, like, and especially if it's tied to your desire to be more alive and more yourself, fucking follow it, even if it sounds crazy, because delicious things are on the other end of that curiosity, as is the case in what we've created together. So let's get to that, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
So Barbara and I created an online community called the Sensual Sisterhood, just like the podcast, same idea with the same sort of mission and purpose. And that community, as of today, we're recording this on January 9th, 2026. There's about 750 women in that community from across the globe.
Yay! Amazing. We love you all, and we're so grateful
Oh.
to have you there. I hope you feel our love. Like that's so. I just got chills. Oh my God. Yeah.
Same, same. When I say community, there's more to it than that. And I want to dig into it and explain. So, a couple things for me jump out right off the bat. This is not a therapy trauma bonding group. Okay. That's not what we do here. We don't just talk about how awful things are. We are not just focused on mindset. So this is not like a neck up, let's just get your attitude right or whatever. There's definitely nothing here about hustle, about processing all the stuff. Although we are both trauma informed in terms of our backgrounds, and so we definitely have a lens on that, but that's not what this space is really about. It's not about becoming better. It's not self-improvement. It's not just like some course or program that you pay for that's supposed to fix you. This is sisterhood, is what it is, right? It's body based, practice based. It's pleasure as daily devotion, not as a reward for you chasing all your demons away or whatever. And ultimately, it's a space for women who want to feel alive again, period. No matter where you are in that journey, no matter how alive you feel right now, or how alive you hope to be down the road. What would you add to that, Barb?
This is so deeply needed and so deeply important because of everything that's going on in the world and how women are feeling so disconnected and very similar to our stories. They might have different lives, whatever, wherever they are, but they feel like something's missing. Like life could be so much better. They don't know how to connect to it. It comes down to we were all taught to outsource our power to men, to money, to productivity, to trauma, to healing loops, to all of this stuff instead of actually going into the body, instead of looking for that in the body. And your power is in your body, your power source. Pussy is the way. Women who actually have our mothers who've given birth, they might understand this better. I've never, but they have a sense of it more when I've spoken to them, that they understand that power in a totally different way because it's like the one time you're allowed to be like powerful in your pussy and it's societally acceptable. But it's not just for birthing lives. I've never birthed a life in terms of a baby and a human, but I've birthed a lot of stuff in creation when I got connected to my pussy because she can birth anything you want. And that's something they didn't want us to know. But me and Marta, we really fucking want you to know that. We really do because it was top secret. And now we're like, this isn't a secret anymore. Everybody needs to know that. It's not a luxury, it's not a reward. It's like pleasure is a technology of power and truth, and it restores your sovereignty over your life.
Yeah.
Like, it is so major, and it doesn't sound like it, and you won't even have it's, again, it's experiential based. We could talk till we're blue in the face, it doesn't matter. You got to get in there, you got to do it, and then you're going to feel it. Because when you feel it, you're going to be like, this is what they're talking about, this is what it is. You can't do it alone, because the way the culture is structured is to, they feed off of us being disconnected. And what's the currency between all of us? Pussy. But if you're disconnected from your pussy, and like I'm disconnected from mine, and Marta's disconnected from hers, it won't matter. That's why Marta said she got together with friends and they were having these conversations. They were not pussy centered conversations. They were disconnected, like, my life is miserable, everything sucks, and this is as good as it gets conversations, because they were leaving the pleasure power source out of the conversation. And that's what we're doing here. We're putting it back. And why in sisterhood? Because that's how we learn. Back in the day, pre Judeo Christian takeover, women, mothers taught daughters about all of this. We pass it down. And then there's the witnessing aspect, the healing that you get from shame around your body, like shame that isn't even yours, shame that was like you're made to have about your body or your sexuality. Once you are witnessed by a sister who can relate, who is there to celebrate you in your sexuality, in your body, exactly as it is, your mind will be blown, because your body is now receiving a level of love didn't even know existed. It's so fucking powerful.
So true.
Yeah. So this is like why we created it.
Yeah. I think that's an important distinction, that even if you're a member of the Sensual Sisterhood and you're listening to this episode, maybe you haven't come to one of the live sessions yet, which we offer usually a week of free live sessions every month, and then the rest are part of the premium membership. But if you haven't come to a live session, you're getting the benefit of the community and the sisterhood and the conversations that are happening in the community thread. Maybe you're enjoying some of the on-demand content we have, but you're missing out on a vital piece, the piece that collapses timelines and all this but it does, in the sense that it's so potent that your body listens in a way that your mind still catching up, like, wait, what just happened? This is so outside of the norm of how I was raised, of what the culture says is permitted. And here it's happening in front of me, and these women are being real and vulnerable, and they're bragging to each other and celebrating that, not cutting it down, not judging, not complain. Like, it flips the paradigm in such a way that you're never the same again. Even if you don't, for whatever reason, it takes 10 more years for you to really take the reins of everything, it changes you. That is the seed. And I want people to experience it. So it's like we can't underestimate how important the sisterhood piece, that piece of it is.
Yeah. The thing is, you're going to have the most resistance to being in sisterhood, because again, it goes back to what I was saying, is that the culture wants us against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a woman of a certain age, I mean, even 20s, that there is some level of like where they pin us against each other and compete with each other and want us to be like at odds with one another and get together and be like complaining about what's wrong in our lives. And so of course there's going to be the most resistance to getting together and be like, I'm going to talk about how fucking amazing I am. And then when Marta talks about how amazing she is, I'm going to be like, yes, you are. You're fucking hot. You're fucking sexy. You're fucking the bomb. And so we were taught never to do that. So of course there's the most resistance, because the muscle memory is to conform to what we were taught so we could be good little girls. But when you come in and you try it and you do it, what happens is your body starts to send messages to you like, wait, this feels good. This is actually, wait, this is aligned. Like, I feel really good by celebrating myself. And this is weird, because it's weird because it feels good. There is nothing wrong. And you're like, wait, holy shit. Like, they lied.
I never feel this way. Yeah.
They lied to us. Like, let's try it this way and see what it's like to really approve of myself in sisterhood and have sisters celebrate me and actually hold space for me if I'm feeling down, not try to like fix it for me. We're not here to fix anything. We're here to be like, hey, if you're feeling sad today, great, bring it.
Yeah.
You need to feel sad, right?
Yeah.
If you're feeling angry, great, bring it. You need to be angry right now. You don't need me to fucking tell you what to do and how to fix it. It's the witnessing of the anger, it's the witnessing of the grief, it's the witnessing of whatever is happening in your life. That's what your body is deeply craving. It's what you never got. And that's what we give in the space with no judgment,
Mhm.
clean love. Like, I see you, I've been there, I get it, I relate. How can I support you? That's what it's about. That is what leads to the reclamation of the pleasure,
Yeah.
because that's where the orgasm expands and money shifts, relationships
Yeah.
reorganize,
Yeah.
creative power returns,
Yeah.
resentment dissolves,
It's
your standard starts to rise. Like,
all of
yeah,
the
it,
things. It's so, even as you were talking, I could feel it in my body. Like I could trace like the biochemical response even to the language. I've been in sisterhood in other containers and places and corners of the world where sisterhood was an important piece, but what might have been missing, what was definitely missing, was the pleasure and the permission for pleasure to be the most important vibe in the room. Um, Other places where I've experienced sisterhood that were missing pleasure as that anchor were still beautiful and healing. And I saw women connecting and being vulnerable. It was important. I'm in no way devaluing that. Those are valuable. But then I experienced that with pleasure as the star of the show. And oh my God, the layers, the depth of that, it's not just like light, it's light and dark and color and shade and purple and polka dots and fucking prisms, it's like there's so much more to it. And that's what that's like the magic I see when a woman has been inside the sensual sisterhood for a while and she has that awakening moment. She has that experience we're trying to put into words. And Barbara and I keep saying, you have to experience it. The words don't do it justice, because they don't. But when I see a woman doing that, having that moment, it's literally rainbows and colors, and it's so much more messy and complicated and beautiful and alive than that moment of light, which is also beautiful and like, angels singing, right? But there's so much more missing. Like it's like a snapshot instead of like the full 4K 3D whatever video. I know I'm beating this to the point of it being a dead horse, but it's just such a striking difference between all the other places that I, in my almost 54 years, have spent, trying to get this thing. And the fact that we've created it, I'm so fucking proud of that. And I so want to share it with every woman in the world that I'm just going to keep talking about it. I'm gonna
yeah,
apologize
you're
for
just
it.
going to keep talking about it until you're just like, obviously, I have to come and try it.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. And like the best way, like as Marta was talking about it, I was like, okay, why is it so hard to put in words? If you've ever had an orgasm, you know that you can't actually describe in words how fucking amazing it felt. But you know in your body there is a knowing how amazing it felt. And you'll never be able to convey it. It's the same concept. It's the technology of pleasure is not just about sexual orgasm. You can have orgasm from eating something delicious. That is the whole point of the sensual sisterhood, is how can we support you in grieving whatever loss you're grieving right now and alchemize that into something that turns into pleasure. It is beyond words. It's like the orgasm itself. You'll never be able to convey in words how delicious and like amazing and blissful it is. But once you get there and you're willing, you will feel it
Yeah. Yeah.
because your body is designed to actually experience this. So that is why it makes so much sense, because your body's designed to hold it. Your body's designed to have it and enjoy it and feel it and like have the full sensory experience.
Exactly. And once you do experience it, oh my God, there's so many more pathways, so many more places where even pain can feel pleasurable. And as you were saying, grief has a pleasure, like you will you will experience a kind of enjoyment, or that's not the right word. There's not a right word for this. A kind of pleasure, I guess, is the closest in feeling all of the feelings. So come and play with us and check it out and see for yourself.
Come play with us. Come get your free week, and come to the events. Come say hi to us, reach out to us. We want to talk to you. We want to know how we can support you. We want to know, submit questions for the podcast in the Sensual Sister. We'd love to hear what you want to hear about, what you want to talk about. I'm going to tell you, you're never going to get the full benefits of what the Sensual Sisterhood is until you come and do it live. Because again, this is an experience. Again, you'll never get the full benefits of an orgasm just by hearing about it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a difference between knowing what an orgasm is and knowing, right? Yeah. You need to actually experience it. So you could, there's a lot of women looking from the sidelines and they're engaging, which is amazing, and you're sharing, but the breakthrough is in the embodiment and coming and being with us. So if you don't take the jump, if you don't take the step to just even come to a free one-time swamp or one-time bragathon or whatever it is that we're offering that month, that week, you are doing yourself a disservice and you're never going to get the full benefits of being part of this membership.
Yeah. So come play. The link to sign up if you're not a member is in the show notes. If you are a member and you want to learn about premium, or you want to come to one of the free weeks and kind of test it out, kick the tires, that'll be in the show notes. And how to get in touch with us if you have questions, also there. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you again soon.